If you're stuck drawing headshots, bust shots, half-body shots, and can't actually draw full-body anime and manga characters, then this video is for you. Drawing a full-body figure can be challenging for beginner artists. One of the game changers for our students was actually learning proper proportions and figuring out how to create well-balanced full-body characters. Once you have that down, you can gain way more confidence in your drawings and you get one step closer to designing your own original characters. Our student Ginny started working with us only able to draw half-body characters and learned how to draw full-body characters in one afternoon. She was shocked at her own progress and said, "I felt way more confident and inspired to draw after learning the human body proportions. I can finally draw full-body characters, not just headshots." If she can do this in a few hours, we're sure you can too. Before we move forward, please make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Our mission is to help beginner anime and manga artists who feel stuck and lost with their art feel more confident and fulfilled. If you resonate with this mission, then liking and subscribing will help us reach more aspiring artists just like you. If you want to learn how to draw full-body anime and manga characters, you have to study real-life human proportions first. No matter how out of this world anime and manga characters can be, they are still based off of real-life elements. When you draw a full-body figure, you can use the number of heads to represent their height. For real-life people, the ideal height is usually about 7.5 to 8 heads for males and 7 to 7.5 heads for females. You can split this into the upper body and lower body. The average person has a 1:1 to 1:1.5 ratio between the upper half and lower half. You get 1/8 for the head, 3/8 for the torso, and 4/8 for the legs. Women tend to have slightly longer legs and a higher leg-to-body ratio than men. Overall, having longer legs is actually considered attractive, which is why you have a lot of tall supermodels with very long legs. Once you get a good grasp of realistic anatomy and proportions, you can now stretch, mold, and stylize your anime and manga characters according to your own preferred style. You can follow proportions similar to real-life people or go really crazy if you want to. Basic manga characters usually stand at 6 to 7 heads. Some creators would go as far as using 8 to 10 heads. Let's compare these different characters and see how the proportions change. First, let's use Naruto and Sakura as examples. We can see that even though their heads are slightly bigger than realistic standards, it works because of the style and genre of the anime. Sakura is about 6 heads tall and the ratio between her upper body and lower body is almost 1:1. Naruto is about 6.5 heads tall. His leg to torso ratio is also close to 1:1. This is an example of standard anime proportions. Now, let's take a look at more extreme examples of stretched out anatomy. Note how in these examples of Jonathan Joestar and Sailor Venus, their legs are much longer. Jonathan Joestar is actually a whopping 9 heads tall. His legs are 1 head longer than his torso. Sailor Venus is shorter at only about 6.5 heads tall. Her whole upper body is only 2.5 heads long and her legs represent 4 heads. She's made up of over 60% legs. In this next example, we see that the characters from Detective Conan and Cardcaptor Sakura have distinctly larger heads compared to the previous examples. They also have much smaller proportions. This is because they're much younger. Conan is supposed to be 6 to 7 years old and Sakura is only about 9 to 10. As you can see, you get a lot of freedom and diversity depending on the character, genre, and art style. If you're just a beginner, we highly recommend practicing more standard proportions before doing something extreme. Here are a couple of tips from our mentor, pro-Japanese manga artist Nao Yazawa. In using the 6.5 to 7 heads for the basic manga proportions, Yazawa-sensei recommends the following breakdown. Head 1 is the head of the main character. Head 2, you draw the neck and the upper torso. So this includes the collarbone, the chest, the shoulders, and the upper arms. Head 3 is the lower torso and also the lower arms. So this includes the biceps until forearms, lower rib cage, and your abdomen. Head 4 is around the halfway mark. It indicates the center line, and it's in line with your wrist and your groin. Your hips and upper thighs fall here as well. Head 5 5 is the continuation of your thighs until down to the bottom of your knees. Head 6 is your lower leg, calves until the upper ankles. Finally, at head 7, you draw the ankles until the bottom of the feet. And this could change a little bit depending on how tall your character actually is. As you saw earlier, you can play around with your character's body proportions to emphasize their age and maybe even their personality or role in the story. Here's a quick guide from our mentor Yazawa-sensei that you might find useful. Children are about 4 heads tall. Young women, like high school characters in shoujo manga, are 6 heads. If they're in middle school, you can draw them as low as 5 heads. Young men are 6 to 6.5 heads tall, like how you saw Naruto earlier. Adult women are about 6.5 to 7 heads tall. You can draw them at 7.5 heads and it would be even closer to realistic proportions. Adult men are about 7.5 heads, and 8 is also good for the tall brooding types. For older people, they can shrink to about 5.5 to 6 heads tall, and you can even make them slouch a bit more to emphasize their short height. When you work with our students, we get them to practice referencing real-life people and then learn to translate that into their own unique style. It's so important that you can take what you see from real life and learn how to stylize that into your own art. Once you can train your eye to be more observant, it allows you to expand your visual library and draw things you've never drawn before. If you'd like to learn more about how to create and design your own original anime and manga characters with the guidance of pro-Japanese manga and anime artists, then we invite you to book a call with us. We'd love to see if we could help. We've put the link in the description. In the meantime, if you'd like to learn more about drawing full-body characters, we recommend checking out this video about how to draw dynamic poses.